I'm here. I'm George Mossey. Welcome to the George Mossey Show. It's 90 Day Fiance Sunday night. We just watched Before the 90 Days, episode 15. We are going to get into it, break down this episode. So Gina will be joining us tonight. So we're going to get into this podcast. We're going to get into this episode, and we're going to talk about Vanja and her new love interest. Diva's here. Giles here. We still didn't get any preview for a tell-all or finale yet, so we're still going. Hey, Diva Speaks. Hey, Jal. Hello. Oh, I love the hat.
Hi.
I love the festive hat. I love it. I should have
Yes,
worn
I
my.
had to be festive today. I had to be different. So
It's December. Okay, yeah. So Cara couldn't be here tonight. She's at a Christmas party, so that just makes sense. We have to be festive. I was at the annual Christmas party yesterday on the yacht, which was a little scary for me, but I got through it. Right, I got through it. I knew where the lifeboats and the life jackets were located. So that made me feel a little better. You know, right when I get on the boat, it's usually the same boat. So right when I get on the boat, I always go and make sure that I know where all my stuff is. So I know in case of an emergency.
I'm really surprised you don't have a life jacket in your car at all times.
Well, it is Florida. Any part of Florida can become underwater at any moment, right? You're right. I should have a life jacket in the car just in case I'm driving and then the next minute I'm underwater. It's very possible. The weather here is very unpredictable. All right, so episode 15, Before the 90 Days. So we watched Vanja meet a new guy. I'm gonna say this wrong. Voshka.
I was just paying attention that she was like, "Yes, queen, get it, yes."
So this guy, the first thing she said was, "You're tall," which didn't mean anything to him, but for us, you know, that was her comparison to Boja, who was like 4 feet tall, and claimed that he was a basketball player professionally, which, you know, I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I do know people who play basketball professionally are like 8 feet tall. Like usually, like minimal, like 6'8", but like normally
point
like
guards are shorter and they're fat.
Oh, how short are we talking? Are we talking like 5'8"? Are we talking like 6'8"?
Probably 5'8", 5'9".
Really?
Yeah.
There's people
I think they're shorter
making...
because if you're taller, your speed is not as quick than if you were shorter, I think. I don't know.
You know more than me, okay? I don't know a lot about basketball at all. I've been to some games, but it was more so social. It wasn't like I was there to see anybody win.
It was more of a drinking thing than probably.
Yeah, like the friends were there, so I was also there. Oh, you know what? I went to the NBA All-Star game before. I did that, which I enjoyed mostly the halftime show. It was like Lil Wayne and DJ Khaled. And you know, I enjoyed that
There
more.
you go.
But I was
Halftime
there.
and drinks.
Yeah,
That's
and drinks.
about it.
And also, where I was sitting, Adele was sitting close by, so I felt like, whoa, I'm sitting by Adele, right? That was crazy, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, that was what I got from it. I'm not even sure who won. Was there a game? There probably was. I don't remember. But Vanja's got this new guy in her life, and we found out that he is fostering a son.
Oh my God.
So
loved it.
So on Twitter, I told all the ladies, like, hold on to their lady parts, because I feel like this is every woman's dream man, right? Like, he fostered an infant baby who needed a father. Now he's adopting this child. And I think what bothered me the most was that he said that women don't like that. Because I was like, in the US, I feel like single dads have to fight off women because women are very attracted to men who have that caring trait, because most men don't have that, right? So in order for you to be a single dad, you have to have that trait that most single men don't have, you know, because you have to care about somebody other than yourself. So it kind of sucks to hear that he can't find women that would want to be with him, because I feel like in the US, if he was doing what he's doing here, he would have to put an extra lock on his door to keep the women away.
Yes, I agree. But I think in most European cultures, and anybody who's out there can correct me if I'm wrong, they do get married, knocked up pretty early, like earlier, not in your 40s. And then if they divorce, they already have their own kids to take care of. They don't want to start the new baby process all over again, changing diapers and stuff
Oh,
like that.
so the
So
women are probably interested in him. They're not interested in becoming like a instant mom to the baby.
again,
Oh,
exactly.
that makes sense because I was like, I don't know, he's not ugly. He's not doing anything horrible. So I was like, I can't imagine why women are so turned off by that. But if you're right, a woman, because he's, I think he said 40, right?
Hmm.
He's so in hit when he's looking for a woman who's already got a grown kid. She's probably looking at it like, well, I don't want to raise a baby because it's a baby. It literally is about to turn 1 years old.
Exactly. She doesn't want to change the diapers, like the milk run, like the milk routine. She doesn't want to do this all over again, and that's probably why.
I get it. I get it. Being a mom and or being a parent in general, it's like I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. The amount of work and dedication and love and commitment, that's a lot to put on a person, especially somebody who might not want it, right? Like you have to want to be a parent. It's not like something that you can be gifted, like or a mistake. It has to be something that you want because it takes so much of you and so much of your time. So I don't know if things go well with her. I don't know how it's going to go because he lives in Croatia and she lives in Florida. And I don't know what the situation is like, but he's obviously not looking to move to another country. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
especially if you're fostering a child. I don't know if you saw the same interview, but I did see an interview and they had asked her if she goes on the date with freaking clowns, one of clown's friends, and she's like, you'll just have to wait and watch.
I did see the interview. I did. And I have a feeling
I,
that she's talking to, I think he was wearing a red plaid shirt.
I forgot his names,
I
but
have a
yeah, I
feeling
or
that
else
that's
she would
what's
have come
going
out and straight up said no, like no, like she would have said no,
on.
right?
Yeah, when you deny something, it means it's not true. When you say something like that, it means, oh yeah, you're onto something, but I'm
Yes.
bound to a document that swears me to secrecy. So you need to watch the show. So I definitely think she's messing, and I think it's a perfect way to get back at him because he can't rid her out of his life because she's banging his friend. So he's always gonna see her. She's always gonna be a topic.
The minute he would have friend zoned me is the minute I would have been on that one of those dating apps that did I swipe left,
He
swipe right.
wasn't he wasn't super honest at first. Like he was like, "Oh no, like let's see what happens." He wanted to waste her time because he knew right from the beginning that he didn't want to be with her, but he kept saying like, "Oh well, let's see how things turn out," or "Let's see how things go." And he was wasting her time. I think if he would have said from the beginning, "I'm not attracted to you at all, and this will probably never turn into anything," that would have been better.
The minute that he took me, like when they were at that like castle or something like that, I forgot what it was, and he friend zoned her, I'd be like, okay, I'm cool. You go do you, boo boo. I go do me. And re-download those apps and see if I can find something better and jump on that ship.
Isn't it crazy how quickly you can go on an app and there's a man in your house? Because I was like thinking of the timeline and I was like, she was just with Boja. And like now there's a man in her apartment. Like these apps, it's insane how quick that you can go from bored and lonely to banging somebody in like a matter of moments.
I think
It's
she
crazy
needs
because like
it. I think she really does need it, considering all the crap he put her through. I think she needs it.
I do think the best reward for her would be to get her back blown out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blown out, completely out. She deserves it. If she went on vacation thinking she was going to get it, she didn't get it. I'm not mad at her, right? Remember, this happened one additional time we were watching Love in Paradise, and Scott was originally there with a woman named Liz. And then Scott, then Liz was like, get away from me, I can't stand you, left him there. He starts talking to Lydia, right? Like this is so I was like, this is a little different though because everybody's rooting for Vanja. It's not like with Scott, everybody didn't like the way that he did that because he felt like he had a woman on reserve. And also, Vanja didn't have anyone on reserve. She found him literally after the fact. She didn't have plan A, B, and C waiting for her. Like Scott went to where did he go? The Dominican Republic, and he had option A. And if option A didn't work out, he had option B. And a lot of women don't want to be an option anything other than A. You want to be option one or none at all.
Exactly.
So this was an interesting situation because I was like, man, this exact same thing happened, but I'm not mad at her. I'm not
No,
mad. I want her to have this. I was like, if she can get her some tonight, I am not mad,
Yes.
right? I am not mad. All right, so I want to talk about this comment. I wrote it down. Hold on. That Brian made tonight. One of the last things I put on here. Hold on. Okay, so Brian said that I got it. He feels that Ingrid is not being real with him.
Oh,
And that
oh,
statement, it really caught me. Hey, Jay Queasy. It really caught me. Oh, Josh, what's up, Josh? It really caught me off guard because he has been the bomb dropper of horrible information and news since he's arrived. Not even since he's arrived. I want to say since they met, because he put a fake age on his dating profile. So he's been like lying to her since the first interaction. I was saying since they met, that's not true. Since the very first interaction they've ever had, he's been lying. And then he turned around and he used the term, he was like, she's not being real with me. And I was like, you're the king of not being real with people, right? Like, you literally have never told her anything true about you whatsoever until you had to. That's the king of being not real with somebody.
he twisted it to make it all about him, as always. I've never liked this kid from the jump, from the get go, from the start. And like, because I knew there was something wrong. How can a guy get married 4 times? There's something wrong with him. And as
Well,
stories unfold and lie, like hiding the truth, unfolds each
I
time.
mean, unless you're Tom Cruise, like, it's really weird for you to have been married 4 times. Like, celebrities, it's one thing. Like, I remember I was talking about Jennifer Lopez the other day, and I lost count of how many times she's been married, right? But you have to be a celebrity to just get married and divorced like that. You know, and again, they have issues too, but they're rich, so we let it slide. The thing with Brian is he's only 54. He's been married 4 times. This would be number 5, right? Because he's still married to some random person that's from the same town as Ingrid. Did we ever touch on that? He's still married to some random woman that's from the same place that Ingrid is
I
from,
wonder if
because
they
she won't.
know each other.
Well, that's a good question, right? Do they know each other? Did he meet them at the same place on the same app? Because he frequents this place a lot. He goes there a lot. He's like a sex tourist. So I was like, the idea that he's still married to wife number 4 and he's trying to get wife number 5 hooked on the rope before even ending the marriage with wife number 4, that's a really questionable situation. And I think what he always leads it back to, he was just like, I've been giving her so much and I've been so real with her, and I just feel like she's using me and she wants to get her family and her kids to the US. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not paying close attention. Have you ever heard Ingrid say anything about moving to
No,
the US? I haven't.
I haven't. I haven't.
So,
Why would she leave a country? Like Brazil is beautiful. Why would she leave Brazil? It's where her language is, like it's where what she knows best. Why would she leave? And that's what most like that's what he's gonna think, obviously, because of the fact that of his experiences in the past. But every experience is different. I get that. Every person is different. But like the audacity of this man telling her like everything that he told her, I don't know how she didn't punch him in the face. I would have punched him in the face and I don't care. Like I
well,
want to punch him in the face now and he's nothing to me. So
hi, Pineapple, welcome. So I messed up. So it's 4 marriages, 3 engagements. I forgot about the engagements because those all almost were marriages, but the women
so that'd be
actually
like 7.
7.
Basically if it ended up
Right.
going through.
Right. So the 3 women probably saw the signs early and didn't make that mistake of marrying him, but there were 3 engagements, 4 marriages, and this will be number 5 with Ingrid. And I think what really bothers me, like, I'm pretty open. Oh, someone Joda says he's the male Liz Taylor. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Yeah,
Without
male Elizabeth
money.
Taylor. And Pink Glitz says she's 40 and knows a guy who's on his 3rd. Guys, my dad has been married 4 times, but I know him personally and know that he has many, 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 many issues, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, my dad's a super great guy. I don't know. No, he's got issues, right? The first 2 wives, he just literally cheated on, like, just literally blatantly cheated. Like, he has major, major issues. And I'm not a doctor, but, I can see an issue from a mile away. Like, if I see somebody's behavior and it's problematic, I don't care who you are. These are my own parents. I'll tell you, there were some problematic issues growing up in my household. My mom was in a religious cult, and my dad was sleeping with every single person at the police station. He was a police chief. And he was with everybody, just everybody, the dispatcher, the detective, like everybody, and literally. And then I have brothers and sisters all over town. You know, like I know what issues look like because I grew up with them. So don't ever think that I'm sitting here and I'm judging people. I've lived through all these issues, so I see what's going on. I spot them from a mile away. Oh wait, Pineapple says my dad was married 4 times, 6 kids, a few passed, so only counting the living, and now he remarried to his second wife. So I know she's like, oh wow, okay. See, so y'all know what I'm talking about, right? And also my connection with 90 Day Fiance, if I haven't told y'all, my dad married a woman from the Philippines, and he brought her over on a K1. And this is actually a year and a half before 90 Day Fiance premiered. So when the show premiered, I was obsessed with it before it actually aired because it was a huge deal on my family. Like, you know, the toll that it takes on your family when this happens, because he brought her over and then he brought all her kids over and then he brought her brother over. And then, so it was this whole thing. And then he started buying her kids cars. You know, it was this whole thing. And so when the show came on, I was like, well, I need to watch this because it's like my life, but other people living it. So I was like, I have to watch this show because I'm not just here judging people. My life is pretty crazy and messed up too. I'm not judging people. I
Oh,
went through it
everyone's
too.
life is pretty crazy and messed up. So no life is perfect. If my
Well,
life was perfect, I would have gotten Taylor Swift tickets and resold them and made a nice profit off of it.
oh, you could have bought you a brand new Honda. All you got
Oh,
to do is buy 10 Taylor Swift tickets at face value and then sell them for $5,000 each. You got the most expensive Honda they make.
my
That is
friend,
literally,
my coworker, the sales manager, his daughter bought 4 tickets on the floor in Vancouver, and thank God this Taylor madness ends today. And she sold 2 of them at 8 grand a piece. She went to Bali with it. I want
see,
that
it's
money.
so for
It's a profit. Ugh.
the people who are hating on Taylor Swift, you could have your own little side business. That's why I don't hate on Taylor Swift,
I
right?
ain't
Like she is
hating. I
bringing
want my side business. I wanted that, but I didn't get no pre-sale code, so it's
she
fine.
is
It is what
bringing
it is.
opportunities that did not exist to people, right? Your friend is in Bali right now, thanks to Taylor Swift. She is
No,
bringing
she came back for the
opportunities.
concert. Like, it was one of the sales managers at my work. His daughter had gotten 4 tickets, sold 2, made 12,000 because she paid for the tickets. They were $500 a piece. She sold it
Mm.
for 2 of them at $8,000 each. I,
What's crazy is
it's insane.
people pay for it though. That's what's crazy.
I know.
But
It's
okay,
insane.
let's get
Back to
back to
topics.
Ingrid, right? So Ingrid is finally, it seems as though she's done with Brian. He's so disrespectful, right? Like, and I think that for me, Brian being 54, he acts like a big baby, right? Whenever he doesn't get his way, he lashes out and he says nasty stuff to
He's
people. And I feel like at
petty.
his, wait, what?
He's petty.
Well, yeah, he's petty, but he also has like these temper tantrums, right? And he's just like, well, I've been giving her so much. What does she mean by space? Space means she doesn't want to be around you so she can think about the nasty, vile lies that you've told her. That's what that means. When a woman says she needs space, it means she needs time to think about the things that you've done to her. And I think he's like having a hard time understanding it because he's like, she just doesn't love me. And I was like, well, she can't love you because she has no idea who you are. Every time y'all go out, right, Gina, she learns something new and vile about
His
you. So she
all
can't,
is it's based on lies. Everything that he's told her is it's made up lies. And what is she supposed to believe? How is she supposed to have a relationship with anybody that's based on lies? She has children. Like, why would you want to incorporate more like lies and he's a liar into their life?
yeah, it's hard to trust somebody who lies to you a lot. Like I've had this conversation where somebody tells me a lie once, like a couple of years. I think they say it takes 1 to 2 years for you to build trust after someone lies to you or betrays you. So imagine someone lies to you constantly, like it's a regular thing. They're a compulsive liar. All they ever do is lie to you. It would take like a decade for you to build trust, to actually trust that person again. So she's basically 10 years out from ever trusting him again. She doesn't even want to stay in the same place with him because it's like, He's a stranger. You
Yeah.
would never stay in a hotel with a complete stranger. If you were, say, you went to Vegas on a trip, you wouldn't go to a hostel and
Mm.
just stay with random
No.
strangers because you're not crazy, right? You
No.
would never do that. So I don't blame her for staying away from someone that she doesn't know or trust. Trust is so important when it comes to being in a relationship, and it's impossible to build trust with him because everything is a lie.
Well,
Like I
trust
feel
is
like
a common ground between any friendship or relationship or anything that you build together, basically. And it, like I said, it could be a friendship, it could be a relationship. If you break that trust, then there's no relationship at the end of the day.
none. And I think that Ingrid finally got the last shot because he's made some nasty comments about her right after they finished filming. He went in an Uber ride with a customer and was calling her a woman of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that that's not true, right? Like we know that that's not true. And even if it was, I don't care. I don't judge. But I don't like the way that he just lashes out at people when he doesn't get his way. Like, sir, you're not 7 years old. You can't just throw a temper tantrum when somebody doesn't see things your way. And when you're lying to people and making up stories, he created a profile of a fake person, a 45-year-old man, who he created. I mean, it was his photo, but everything in that profile was a lie. It was not pertaining to him
Nope.
whatsoever. So when he met her, he had to start telling small truths, you know, because he made up this character. And then she didn't like what she heard, which she had the right, because technically, if he would have been honest from the beginning, we never would have been here. She never would have invited him to come and visit. She never would have wanted to meet him if she really knew who he was. And I think that's why he's been divorced so many times. He creates a persona. The woman meets the persona because the persona is very likable. It's a likable person. And then she meets him in person and realizes he's not a likable person. He's not the person that they thought they were. And then those three engagements, they found out soon. They were very intuitive. They found out closer, before the wedding happened. And the other women, he fooled them. And then they ended up, one of them tried to end his life. Like you have to be a pretty vile human being for your wife to not just divorce you and take half of everything. She sent people to end him. That's how bad the situation was. And she did, I think I told y'all, she did 7 years
Mm-hmm.
in prison for that. So this is crazy. So the idea that, and then that's pertinent information, but Ingrid didn't know that. I think that that's such craziness that you could be in the same room with somebody, laying in the same bed with someone, and you absolutely know nothing about them. That's kind of scary, right? It makes you think of all those Dateline NBC stories, right? Like it's scary. All right, so we're gonna talk about Joey and Magda. So they spent the night. They didn't actually have sex yet, but they spent the night in the same apartment. Then they went to her hometown. He's getting to know her dog, the penis biting dog. Remember the dog? The dog does look kind of mean, right? Do you feel like the dog looks mean?
Well, it's a kind of like a guard dog, right?
I mean,
So,
it looks kind of mean. I don't think that it's actually a penis biting dog. I think that that's fake,
oh, of course,
because
everything that comes
yeah,
out of her mouth is fake.
I don't think that that's legit. But Joey, he came clean tonight and said that he doesn't actually want to propose, which is not news to me. Joey doesn't look like the marrying type, right? And I think you and I have already discussed this. He's a player. He's a Guido. We can see who he is. He likes to have a good time, right? And he's gonna get married when he's 45. Men like that get married late. They want to live their best life. So he's finally coming out and telling Magda that he doesn't actually think that he wants to propose to her this trip, which I don't disagree, but he knew that her actual game plan is she needs to move to America. That's her dream. And in order to move to America, she needs a ring on her finger and a K-1 visa application. So she has a timeline of things, and he thinks that she's moving too quickly. But he knew that they didn't know each other before he got there. I think that he's using her last relationship and moving to Germany as an excuse for him not being ready to commit. Do you feel like that? Like I feel like he doesn't think she's moving too fast, really. He really just looks at it as I don't really want to commit to her and then file a K-1 visa application. I'm not ready
But
yet.
didn't she say that she bought a ticket to
Yes, to come to
go?
the US. US.
And
Yes.
it looks like he knew about this ticket. He wasn't like surprised or shocked by it. So I don't know what the meaning behind this ticket was. I don't know if maybe he wanted to see how she meshed with his friends and with his family before even popping any questions at all.
Huh. I mean, I don't know. There was no context because
Yeah,
it would be weird to buy a ticket in preparation for the visa because visas are unpredictable. You don't know when
yeah.
it's going to get approved. So I'm assuming this was to come over and maybe meet his family. You know, he has an Italian family. There's no chance he's going to get married without his mom
Oh, there's no
laying
way. There's
yeah,
no way.
laying eyes on this woman. I've met many, many, many Italian mothers, and the last thing you think you're gonna do and get away with is give. Well, you know what? Who did get away with it? Joanne. Joanne got away with it when she married Sean behind her mom's back. I forgot. Her mom's pissed, but her
Yeah.
mom did not end her, so she got away
But
with
the
it,
thing is,
right?
Joey's never been married before. He's the boy, right? He doesn't have kids. So there's a different.
Yeah, I don't want to say this out loud, but have you noticed that Italian moms favor their sons more? Like they're way more protective of their sons than their daughters. Isn't that weird?
I live in that house, same household, but
I
I'm not
don't
even
know. Like,
Italian, and I'm Portuguese, and I see it. I see
I don't
it
know why
every
that is
day.
though. It's so weird because in most cultures they protect the daughters. Like everyone's more protective of the daughter, but in an Italian household, the son is the one that they protect the most, which is complete opposite and weird. You know, like maybe they look at it as the daughters are stronger because they're from an Italian household and Italian women are very strong and independent and smart. But why don't they instill that in their sons? Why do they always have to protect their sons? It's weird.
I don't know. I try to answer that, and it's basically the golden children, and and then there's just me. So
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
It's interesting because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Magda has a plan, and if Joey wasn't the puzzle piece to get her to the U.S., somebody else would be. You know,
Exactly. She's just
I
looking
don't
for
feel
a
like
green card. Like her face was in utter shock when he
well,
said, "This is
right,
not
because
happening."
she thought her plan was in motion.
Yeah.
So when he sat at the table and told her that the plan wasn't in motion, she was just like, "Are you serious? Like you're in my house. Like why am I wasting my time with you if the plan isn't in motion?" And he's gonna say next week that it would be strange to get engaged to someone that you haven't been intimate with. I don't
I
disagree.
don't
Right.
disagree either because you need to see if your sexual life obviously meshes and you can connect with that person in other
Yeah.
ways. But I was just like, wait, you can't. You need to ask for these commands for the dog. You can't just use Google Translate. Like they have commands. You press the speaker and it speaks like with Google
Oh.
Translate.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. See, I don't have a dog. I have a
But
cat.
still,
So we don't like
you can use the Google Translate. Press the speaker button. It will translate everything.
oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter what you say to the mic; it doesn't listen.
No.
So I don't bother. They do what they want. But yeah, I thought that the whole situation unfolding, I thought was interesting. But I want to bring this up. So remember, there was a boat party of like this summer. It was a yacht party for the 10-year anniversary for 90 Day Fiance, the show franchise. All of the people who were there. So Vanja was there, Joey was there, Kimberly was there, Tyree was there, I believe. And I believe everybody who was at that party are going to be people that we're going to see again.
I believe so as well. You're not wrong because like Vanya's a fan favorite. We obviously probably already know that the Joey what Magnum, whatever you want to call her, didn't work out. So we obviously know because why else would he be invited to that, right? Because
Well,
like he's
at the
not a
time,
bad looking guy. He's not a bad looking guy. So they kind of need some eye candy on TLC
yeah,
anyways, right? So
and at the time, none of the season had premiered, so we had no idea who they were. So when we were looking at the photos from the big party, I saw Vanja's photo. She followed me, but I didn't know who she was. And I was just like, oh, who is this person? And then I realized it's an upcoming person. And I was like, well, in order for you to be invited, because think about it, the president of the entertainment company was there, executives from Warner Brothers were there. In order for you to be in the party on the list, they have plans for you. So that means that we're going to see Joey, and based on the way things are going, it's probably going to be on the next season
yeah,
of The Single Life, which I also heard is casting right now. So as information comes in, we'll see if that's true or not. I think Joey's gonna be back, and Vanja, the way her story went, she's a shoo-in either
Yes.
for the single life or if she is dating one of Boja's friends, we
Oh,
we could
that
see
was
her again.
so juicy and so
Yeah,
good. Would love
dating
that.
his friend, which I would totally watch. So they could do it before the 90 days with her, and that would be a perfect addition for Vanja. I actually like her a lot. She's a fan
I,
favorite for me.
I do. I do. Like, I was
I
so
want her to be
happy.
happy. It's weird. Like some people I don't root for, but I do root for her. I think that
I was like rooting for her and I was cheering her on and I was just like, yes, get it, girl, go, 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 go on those dating apps. Just don't listen to anybody. Just do it. You're in Europe. You can just easily fly to Italy if you have to. Just
I didn't
go.
know it was so easy. Like I told you, I was like, I didn't know it was that easy to have somebody in your bed that fast with these apps. Because that's like she's in another country. It's not like she even knows like where she
It's
is, and that quickly.
vacation. What do you do in Vegas?
Isn't that
You're
what a
on
lot of people do?
vacation.
Isn't that what a lot of the women do in the DR? They go over there and they get the Dominican men, the ones that work at the hotel. You know what I'm talking
At
about?
the resorts. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
everyone that goes to the D.
yeah. I mean, I
Chantal, the 90 Day Fiance in the UK. Like, there's everybody
the
that goes.
DR is like known for vacation banging. Like people go to the DR to get banged out. Like that's literally what's going on, and I didn't realize it. And then as I watched the seasons, I'm like, oh, especially the ladies. The ladies they go over there, they're in their bikini, and they find them a DR guy, and next thing you know, they're in this weird relationship trying to bring him to the U.S. Right, like that, or they're pregnant. Remember the one girl? She got pregnant, and then with what was Ariana and Sherlon. Remember she went over
Oh,
there, found her a DR
right. Yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
got pregnant, and then came back with a present from vacation, a baby. Like you got to be careful with
You
that,
you
you
gotta
know.
plan accordingly, right? So
Well, I think the last thing she was thinking about was bringing back a baby from the DR,
yeah,
but
that's
she
not a
did.
souvenir that you want to
Yeah,
bring
that's
back.
why you pack your condoms, guys. Pack your condoms, and if you're on the pill, bring the pill. You don't want to bring back any I don't want to say unwanted because obviously you want your baby,
No,
but
of course not. Of
unplanned,
course, but
unplanned
unplanned
carry-on luggage. Right, like
souvenirs.
that's your souvenir. It's always gonna remind you of that good time you had in the DR. Okay,
Yep.
so Vaya and Sunny. So they were back on tonight and they had a conversation and Sunny wanted to apologize to Rory for the way that he reacted that night, right? At the pool hall. And it's funny because Sunny's not good at apologizing.
Confrontation.
Yeah, like he's not good. So he was like, "Did you buy your ticket to leave? Because that would be great." And he was like, "Well, I." And I was like, "This isn't how you apologize. You don't add insult to the injury when you're trying to apologize. This is how you get your nose broken." Like I was like, just all of the issues that you have to either be ready to let it go or you have to be ready to fist fight. You can't just be like, well, I'm mad at you, but I want to fix things, so I'm gonna say some more mean stuff to you. That's how you get into a bar fight. Okay, so he basically did apologize in his own way. I wouldn't have taken that apology because I felt like there were too many insults added in. So I wouldn't have accepted it. But we're now seeing that Rory is fine with her and Sunny because he made a comment tonight where he was like, I can see all of her issues, and all the problems in their relationship and why things aren't working out. But he was like, it's not my problem anymore, And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so wait, maybe he really isn't there because he wants her back. Remember, I had a weird speculation. I was like, I kind of,
Yeah, and she's finally taking accountability for her actions, like all of them basically. But at the same time, if I was Sunny, I wouldn't have apologized, to be honest, because I'm in the right. I'd be like,
well,
why are you bringing your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend here? I'm in the right, and I wouldn't have apologized, but I'm petty.
yeah, his
So,
reaction was pretty normal, right? Like
exactly,
that's the
exactly.
reaction that if I'm on a trip to meet a girl that I really love, and then I get there, and then she's like, "Oh, my ex-boyfriend is here, and we hang out all the time," I'll be like, "So why am I here?" Like that's a normal reaction. So next week or on a following episode, we're gonna find out that Rory Well, Rory asked if Vaya had met Sonny's parents, who we know are Muslim,
Mm-hmm.
of the Muslim religion. And the answer was no. Oh, Donna, Ariana, she's from Love in Paradise. She was with Sherlon, and they had a baby together. I can't remember the baby's name now.
I can't
Um,
remember either.
but yeah, they had a baby together. She was on Love in Paradise. She hasn't been on the show in a while though. But we were
No.
just talking about the girls who go to the DR and find them a nice DR man. We were just talking about that. So we're gonna find out about what were we talking about? Hold on. Oh, tattoos. So this is my next question for you. Because I do not judge anyone for anything that they're doing whatsoever as long as it's legal and everybody's happy. So when it comes to tattoos in the Muslim religion, they're frowned upon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Sunny has asked Avea to cover her tattoos to meet his parents. And Rory actually thinks that it's not a crazy ask, because I was thinking about this when it was airing, and I was like, so when I'm meeting someone for the first time, I want to be on my best behavior, especially if it's like a girl's parents or somebody that is important to me or opens an opportunity for me. I'm going to want a good impression to be laid out. So, and I see this as no other than putting your best foot forward. Do you think covering your tattoos for someone's religion that doesn't believe in tattoos, do you think that that's disrespectful or crossing the line of your creativity and your self-expression? Or like, how do you feel?
Well, regardless, they're not going to like her anyways, whether she covers them up or not, because she's not Muslim. She's not going to convert to be a Muslim. So, end of discussion there. But what really took me by surprise is the fact that Rory and Sunny were both like, you got to make some sacrifices. You got to
Yeah.
balance this out, as you said, right? You got to and put your best foot forward, yeah. But regardless, they're not going to like her. They're not going to approve of her, regardless. It doesn't
Well,
matter because she's
that's
not
what,
going to convert.
yeah,
So,
she made it clear that converting for a man is not going to happen because she's been through issues with that in the past. So why do you think it matters for her to meet the parents? Because the parents, I've never really met a Muslim person on the show or in real life that wanted their child to marry a non-Muslim. It's just their culture does not really have a opening for inter-religion dating. What do you call that? Interdenomination dating. I don't know what you call it, but they're not open to that.
yeah,
So I don't know why it was important for her to meet them, because like you said, she could show up with her tattoos uncovered. They're gonna hate her regardless. They're gonna
exactly.
see her as a devil. Like somebody who doesn't want to convert to their religion is almost like an enemy of the family. We
Hmm.
saw this with Jenny and Submit. Do you remember all of the nasty, vile, mean things Submit's mom said about Jenny just because she wasn't a Muslim?
No,
Right?
but like with Sumit, he wasn't Muslim. He was either Sikh or Hindu.
Oh, it was Hindu. You're right. It was Hindu. And what's interesting with Hindu, it's not as strict
No.
as being a Muslim. Like there's no headdress, no head wrap, no hijabs, no burqas. It's much more, women
Okay.
have much more self-expression.
Yeah.
But still, Jenny didn't really want to do that either. She did cave in the end, and she did convert. Because it made more sense for her. She was going to be living there.
Exactly.
It made more sense because this is your everyday life. This is going to become your everyday life, your routine. So she did, but I don't know. I think that women who start dating Muslim men, because like Tiger Lily and Adna, they weren't on tonight,
Oh, but
but
they're on next week.
yeah, they'll be on next week, and we're gonna be watching more of this nonsense. That's what I call it, nonsense, right? Oh, by the way, Adnan is here. Shabuti posted
Yes.
a picture which was dissected. He's living in
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's now here in the US. Does that surprise you or no? That doesn't surprise me at all. I knew it was coming.
It doesn't surprise me at all as well. So I'm just as soon as I saw her in the preview, I'm like, oh God, not again. Like,
Well,
please
are
go
you
away. Get off my TV.
I guess what terrifies me is that he's in Texas and they haven't announced it. So it's making me think they're filming. And I
Oh
think
no.
and that's a fear of mine because I just don't like them. And nothing personal. They might be good people. I don't see it. But I just don't want to watch them and their bullshit anymore. Like her pretending that at 43 years of age she's never heard of the Muslim religion, which is just the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like there's no chance in life that you've made it 43 years without encountering some form of the Muslim
She
religion.
just
It's
needs
just
to
not
go
possible.
away. She gives me a migraine. She's like Tiger Cloud. She just needs to go away. Like she gives me a migraine. Her voice, like she's not the brightest crayon on the crayon box on TV. I don't know what she's like outside of that, but she's not that intelligent. And it makes it seem like she doesn't have a phone. She can't Google anything. She can't look at anything. Like, yeah.
I guess what bothers me is she uses the excuse I didn't know. You can only use
Yeah.
that so many times, right? Like if you make like okay, say you're in your car, you're driving, you're going 55 miles an hour, the speed limit is 35. The cop pulls you over and he's like, you're speeding. You're like, oh, I didn't know. He doesn't care that you didn't know, right? Because it's still against the law and he's going to give you a ticket. I mean, unless you're
Mm-hmm.
a woman and you're hot, maybe not. But if you're me, you're gonna get a ticket. So it's like she uses the excuse, well, I didn't know. And I was like, well, educate yourself, right? Like thinking how readily available information is to everyone. Just pull out your phone. Like, how many times have I been at the doctor's office or somewhere in the waiting room and I'm just bored and I'll just Google random stuff and just learn about it because I'm bored,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I learned all about aviation. Like, I took my first flight when I was really, really young. And then I was on a plane once that something happened. We were in a thunderstorm and we almost went down and we didn't, but it made me really interested in like aviation and how it all works. So I started like, I don't know what you call it, like researching it. Like I would just Google like, the checklist that they do when they check the airplane, what ailerons were, what rudders were. Like I want to know everything because I was just so fascinated by it. And I'm like, so Tiger Lily just sits at home all day and doesn't learn nothing, right? Because another thing, my mom is a teacher. She's been a teacher for like 40 years. And she always taught me, she was like, whether you're enrolled in school, no matter how old you are or whatever, you're never too old to learn something new.
Exactly.
And that always, right, that stuck with me. So I was like, well, I'm not enrolled in school right now, but that doesn't mean that I can't learn something new. I can research it myself. I don't even need a textbook. We're at a day and age
You
where your
don't
phone,
need an encyclopedia.
right? You don't need anything but your phone and some time, and you can educate yourself. And I just think it's crazy to me that Tiger Lily, and I want to believe it's an act. I want to believe that this woman is not as stupid as she leads on, but I don't know if that's true. I think she might actually be a ditz, right? And it's not. And okay, so Donna, that's what I was about to say. Ignorance is a choice, and I think that Tiger Lily, you know how some people wake up and they choose violence? Tiger Lily wakes up every morning and chooses ignorance. She has the opportunity and time to educate herself and be a more productive member of society and has an education. And then she just says, nah, I'll just rather do my hair for 4 hours. And I think that's why I just can't stand her, right? It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
I just can't stand her.
Same. Same. I'm looking forward to not hearing her voice for a few weeks
Well,
when I
I
go on
don't
vacation.
know because Adnan is here in Texas and they're not releasing, they won't say anything about it. So that makes me feel like they're filming because if they're being tight lipped about it, because if they were done filming and he wasn't here for the tell all, they could just say he was here. There wouldn't be anything that they would be giving away. But the fact that they won't say he's here now makes me think they're filming stuff now. And that's scary
Oh,
because
I
another
know.
season,
I know. Maybe I can pray for a Christmas miracle for it not to happen.
I just she could come back if she would stop being dumb and she would use common sense. I'll put it like that. If she would stop being a ditz head and use common sense and stop asking stupid questions, then she could
But
come
you
back.
can't teach common sense.
That's true. You have to be born with it. You're right. There's no textbook for that. You're right.
No.
I mean, it is what it is. Oh, so I want to ask you this. So they were on a safari, Vea and Sunny and Rory, and the weirdest thing happened on this safari. So Vea had to pee. Also, Vea doesn't know farm animals, but that's neither here or there. She said she had to pee, and they pulled over on the safari, and she another thing. Oh wait, are you
I'm
there?
there.
So
I think we froze for like two
oh
seconds.
okay, and another thing. she said she had to pee. They pulled over and they got off the safari. And what my question is it normal for, I've never been on a safari, by the way, other than Disney World. Is it normal for people to get off of a safari vehicle in the wild where the animals are? Is that a thing?
I guess if the animals go, you gotta go too, right?
I
So
mean,
where can you go?
I
Like,
I understand, right? But like, how dangerous is it? You know, because wild animals are wild animals, right? Like they don't, food is food, whether it's a human or an animal or whatever. So when they were walking around the safari, it was weird. I was like, I don't know if it's a thing to walk
I
around animals
think
for.
it's like a compound safari. It was not one of those. Like it, I think it's like more of like the one of the ones that you can just book on whatever app it is or whatnot. It's not actually like yes, it's authentic, but not authentic enough for because I didn't see any lions. I only saw those blue boars, the zebras, and that was about and monkeys, and that
Oh,
was about it.
okay. Oh,
And
so Donna says she's from South Africa and she says yes, it is normal.
there
So
you go. Thank you,
so
Donna.
I don't know. That's I don't know because he when they were getting out, he was like, okay, you might see alligators and stuff, but it's okay. And I'm like, is it? Is it okay? Like I don't know. I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to like danger. So like I don't go looking for danger, right? So like if I'm on a safari, I'm not getting out of the vehicle like for nothing until we're like at a safe
So you'll
place.
need
Like
it depends a diaper in case.
yeah, I'm not getting out of the vehicle, like for real, unless we go into like a closed garage and then the animals are they can't like that. I don't know. Like I'm not looking to get into any type of incident with any type of animal that weighs more than a car. I don't they can have the whole world if they want it. I'm not gonna fight them for it.
Because I didn't see any lions or tigers.
No, you're right. I didn't see any lions or tigers, and those are the the predators. Okay, come on, George. You live in Florida with gators. So, Joda, let me tell you a weird story. So, I do live in Florida. There's gators everywhere. I think there's a total of 22 million in the entire state. I've never seen a living gator. So there's a Dollar Tree really close to my house that has a gator right in the retention pond, right next to the parking lot. I've never seen it, but like everybody that lives over here sends me pictures. They're like, "We saw the gator. We saw the gator." I've never seen like one in front of me. Like I've been driving and I'll drive past like a pond or whatever or a lake and I'll see a gator, but like not like I'm here, gators here. I've never like seen one or encountered one like that.
Basically, you mind your business, the alligator minds theirs, and that's that. You're not
Well,
gonna,
I know
it's
there are
not a goal
people.
of yours to
No,
be
I
lunchtime.
don't need to see them. I know that they exist. So I don't like some people go looking for them. Like there's a preserve over by us where you can go ride your bike and the gators are very friendly because people tell me like they'll come up to you because people in this neighborhood they feed them, which you're not supposed to do. You're
Yes,
not
don't
supposed to
feed
do that. So
wildlife. The
so
last
you'll
thing
ride
I
your
need is to get
bike.
attacked by
I know.
raccoons.
Like I was talking to this one cop and he was like, yeah, if you go over here and you ride your bike, he's like, they come out of the water to the trail and they like come up to your bike, but they want you to give them food because the people here think it's cute to feed them. So they're not going to eat you. They're used to the people on their bikes throwing like food at them.
Yeah, they're
So now I
humanized
can't, I,
basically.
yeah, now I can't use that trail because I don't want to go there now because he said
No,
they literally come out of the water to the people because they're used to the food. And if I don't have any food on me,
then
now
you will be their
I'm
food.
food, right? So yeah, but yeah, you know what? It's weird. I do live in Florida. There's so many animals here. There's like sandhill cranes. They're like 5 foot tall birds that just roam around. Like they're in my yard all the time. But when I was leaving the house one time, and there was a bunch of sandhill cranes in the yard. They're like 5 foot tall, and they were near my car. So I just went back in the house. I was like, no, you can. It's your world. I'll just wait, until you guys are done, and then I'll leave. And it's funny because the Floridian people that have been born here, they just go out and they just nothing bothers them. There'll be an alligator outside, they'll still go outside. Like I'm not that
It
person.
was funny. I think it was like a week or two ago. I was coming back from the gym and I was listening to your podcast with Cara. And I was coming back. I'm like, it's the one that Josh joined. And then I was just like, oh, shit. There's raccoons. There's a family of raccoons in front of my house. I'm like, called my dad. I'm like, pass me the keys to the side of the house. I'm not going through the front door. I'm not getting attacked. I do not need a hospital trip
No,
nor a rabies shot. Thank you.
that's crazy. I found raccoons at my trash when I go to take the trash out. I opened it to put something in there and a raccoon jumped out.
They are vicious, and it was a family, so you saw like the little
Yeah,
baby ones, and then
I
no,
don't think I took the trash out that day. I just went back in the house. Like I don't fight. Like if they want to have
no,
the whole world,
no.
I'm not gonna fight you,
Like
right?
a
I'm not gonna
woman
fight.
who had like encountered it, she was just like, "Oh shit!" It was like running into a skunk. She's like slowly backing away,
Right?
like, "You do you, I'll do me. Thank you."
Oh wait, we didn't talk about
Niles,
Matilda and Niles, right?
no.
So yeah, Matilda and Niles, we found out. Okay, first of all, I want to get your reaction. So last week he revealed that he didn't have a job anymore. How do you feel? Because remember, I've talked to you about this before. I feel like Niles is the king of. He's kind of like a mini Brian. He likes to
Yes,
omit.
I was
He likes
about
to
to say
omit things.
that.
Okay, so we're on the same page, right? He has information that he doesn't want to give people because he doesn't want to fight, right?
But I also think it's because, like, and we can't make excuses for everybody, right? But this is something that Niles has been dealing with for all his life, basically. And I think it's about acceptance and not hurting people that he loves, where
True.
Brian is just a
I want to get you guys to give me your take on it because I believe that Niles is a good guy, right? Like, I don't think we can disagree that he's a good guy, but I think that he definitely has a lot of problems. Okay,
sorry.
so Donna says Niles loves to lie. Okay, so Donna thinks that he loves to lie. Joda says Niles equals mini brain. Okay, I think I think Niles definitely is not one to have a confrontation with anybody, and if lying is the best way to avoid that confrontation, that's the way he's going to go. And I think that that only leads to more problems because now he's agreed to a wedding within 24 hours. He has no money. He's borrowing money from Matilda's brother. Now he's going to be borrowing money from Mr. Ark with no way to pay any of these people back, right? And my question is, when he does get back to the U.S., it will be time for him to file for the K-1. How's he going to pay for the K-1?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's like if he can apply for EI. Sorry about that, everybody. Earlier, I don't know if he can apply for EI. I don't know like unemployment insurance. I don't know if he can like what benefits he would be entitled to.
Oh,
But with those benefits, it's at minimum, right? It's not like a full paycheck.
well, I was going to say, if he applies for benefits, he cannot apply for a K-1. You can't be on government benefits to qualify for a K-1 visa or a spousal
And
visa.
he probably doesn't know that.
Well, you're right. I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. I think I've been saying this a lot this season. I feel like he's just biting off everything way more than he can chew. He makes decisions with no game plan. So I want to talk about what Diva said. Diva Speaks said, I feel sorry for him when he spoke to his dad. I saw the conversation between him and his dad, and it was
It
heartbreaking
was.
because he doesn't have any support from his family. And that's really difficult. Can you imagine having autism and being in the world by yourself? You just lost your job. You're trying to get married. You're trying to do something that you would want to share with your friends and your family, and your friends and your family are detesting your actions. I can't imagine what that feels like. Because at this point, I was like, he should be able to call his parents, even if, okay, so if I was doing something that my mom didn't agree with and I really needed help, she would still help me. She would tell me a million different reasons why I shouldn't do it. And then when it blows up in my face, she would say, I told you so. But at the end of the day, she would still help me. So,
I just wanted to give him like a big hug and like, but he's making adult choices, adult decisions for him, right? So that's the thing. He's making those decisions for him, not for anybody else, but for their unionship, right?
well,
And
yeah.
so, and I think he's so used to his parents controlling his life and dictating his life because of his ADHD at the same time.
Well, yeah, I think that he's always had them making decisions for him. And now that the one thing in his life that he really wants, they don't approve of, I feel like he's lost. right?
Yeah,
Because they've probably been very encouraging with him living on his own, with his job, with other decisions. He's always gotten support. This one thing that he's doing, he's not getting support. And I think now he's lost. He's like a lost puppy because he's like, well, what do I do? I'm on my own. He's literally in Ghana, a country he's never been. He's never left the country, never left Alabama. He's in Ghana by himself with no money, with no one to turn to, no support. He's borrowing money from people that he literally just met. It's
I
really
can't imagine that. Like just like picturing it myself, I wouldn't be able to go to a country with no money, no support, no nothing. I'd be a lost puppy, like you said. But
I would be.
like
Okay, so Donna
I
said,
wouldn't even know what to do.
isn't that kind of everybody's story on 90 Day? The parents don't support. Kind of, yes. Right? Like some people, they don't support it, but they also show up to the wedding. Right? Like I feel
Exactly.
like
Look at Mike's mom. Like she didn't like Natalie. She didn't support it, but she still came to the wedding.
she came to the wedding after she said she wouldn't. She did show up, and she even showed up to different dinners,
Hmm.
Thanksgiving, to support Mike. She, even though Natalie was like, she called me a hooker at Thanksgiving dinner, she still showed up to be there. And I feel like Niles doesn't have that. I feel like no one is showing up to support him, and I think that's what's sad.
It is.
Because no matter what you do, you need your family and your support. Like, have you ever watched the news and there'll be some guy on the news who did something really terrible, and then his mom, they'll interview his mom, and she's like, "He's a good boy. He's a good boy," and we're like, "But that's undying support." Right? When you have a mother or a father or a family or your support system, they support you no matter
That's
what. And
unconditional love.
yeah, and I feel like Niles is not, he doesn't have that. They love him and they respect him and support him as long as they do what he wants. And I think that's one flaw in parents these days. They love their kids as long as they can control them. And when they're
But
grown,
maybe, I'm not saying he's done this before, obviously, but maybe this is a pattern of his that he's done before, and his parents have seen the same type of pattern, and
yeah.
that's why they're saying no. But I don't know. But while watching it, I was just like, I don't know why Matilda, or not Matilda, whatever her name is, I already forgot. When she's asking him in the bed what's wrong, and all she's thinking about is herself,
Yep.
like about, well, what am I going to do? I'm not going to have anybody there. She's not putting it into perspective of what are we going to do, right? What, like,
Well,
if his parents don't support our union ship, right? Without his parents' support, it's not about us or we. It's about what am I going to do? I'm not going to have anybody there. I'm not like, who am I going to turn to? It's not about the us factor. It's about her.
yeah, you're right. You're right. She never asked him if he was okay, how he was holding up, knowing that his parents weren't going to support them. It was more like, well, who's going to help me? When
Exactly.
I'm there all alone and my sisters are here and my mom is here, who's going to help me? And I think, his parents might be onto something. We don't know Matilda, right? They don't either, but his parents think she's a scammer, and she might be. Right? She might be. It's so hard to tell when someone is coming from a third world country and you offer them a way out. It's hard to tell if they love you or they want the way out. Right? It's very, very difficult to tell. And sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes people are amazing actors and they can make it seem like they love someone when they don't. So I don't know. I think that he's in a hell of a shit's creek right now, though, with no paddle because he has no money. He has no job. He's borrowing money from people that he doesn't know how he's ever going to be able to pay back. Getting a job in this economy is not like a one and done thing. It takes a while. So
No.
how's he going to get this visa? You have to make 50,000 or more to get approved for these visas.
And
So
I don't
what
think
is
he
he?
would even make that when he's working too, depending on like
Right.
the minimum wage, right?
That's actually true. He might not have actually qualified with his job. So that's even more. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm worried about Niles. I always wanted Niles to be happy. I don't know if Matilda's the right person for him, but I do think that he probably shouldn't have got married on this trip. You know what my mom always taught me? Your first mind is always right. When he got there, he said that he didn't want to get married on this trip. And then he changed his mind. My mom always instilled in me, she was like, if you feel really strongly about something, don't change your mind. And I think him changing his mind is probably a mistake. I think that you should always stick with your gut. Your gut is always right.
Yep.
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right, but it's always right.
But sometimes I won't listen to the gut and I will tell it to shut up. And then I'll just do whatever stupid move I have going, and that's it. And then I'd be like, I should have listened to my gut.
Yeah, it's happened to me a lot of different times. I've done things and then I've lived to regret it, or I paid more than I should have for something. It happens, and it's like if you have parents and they tell you things, like my mom has been a very good person in instilling life experience advice in me, right? Like she's told me, she's like, you need to stick with your first mind, and you're never too old to learn something new. Like always listen to your elders. They always know what they're talking about. They've been here way longer than you. They've been through more shit than you. You know, so even though you don't like it, you never like it. When they're telling it to you, it's awful and it's stupid and they're annoying and you don't want to talk to them. But it's always good advice. They're not here to screw your life up. They're here to try to make it better.
Unless
So
you're
always,
Niall's parents.
well, I don't know if
I
they're wrong. Like honestly
don't know
though,
either, but still, you should be presenting your child with unconditional love and support.
no, you're
And
right.
like
You're
the
right.
tone
Donna
and
said it too.
everything, it just didn't sound like that's what he was getting.
No, you're right. When you love your children, you support them no matter what. I think my mom used to say, "I will disagree with what you're doing, but I'll be here to help you clean up the mess." Is what she used to say to me. She was like, "I don't like it. I think it's dumb, but I'll show up. You know, I'll support it. But when it blows up in your face, I'll be the first one to show up to help you clean up the mess." And that's what I appreciate. Oh, thank you, Tina, for liking the new set. This is my brand new podcast set, guys. This is a brand new space. I'm really happy about it. And thank you so much for all of the people who supported me, who've been here for the 4.5 years that I've been doing this. It's crazy. I'm just so grateful and happy and thankful for all of you. And it's this beautiful set. I couldn't be more happy. I remember when I was buying the pieces for it, and now it's a real place. So thank you so much for all of you who've been supporting me this long. And I'm on the charts. For the last 62 days, I've been on the charts in 4 different countries.
Yay!
I can't believe it. 4 different countries. People like me in other countries. What? I have family members that don't even like me. So that's crazy. So I'm
What
just really
countries?
grateful. What?
Which countries?
Canada,
Of course.
Ireland, the United Kingdom, Thailand, and I think there's one other place. I can't remember which other country, but it's countries that I wouldn't have suspected. Oh, Finland. I've been
Finland.
on number 25 in Finland for a while now, and I can't believe it. I love all of you. If I could meet all of you and hug every single one, I would. I'm just so happy. Okay, guys.
Except you're not
So
getting on a boat.
no, never. Okay, so we're gonna wrap tonight. We're gonna be back tomorrow for the last resort. We'll watch the last resort. Oh, I heard from Josh that all of the episodes aren't 2 hours. So that is amazing news, because 3 hour commitment per night was a lot for me. But Josh said that all of them aren't 2 hours. I think he said the first one and the last one are two
Yeah,
hours.
it makes
Everything else.
sense. The first one and the
Yeah,
last one would be two
yes.
hours, but I can't do 3 hours. I can't
Well,
even watch like the in between the sheets. I watched 17 minutes of it, and then your podcast came on. I'm like, I'm bored, so it would matter
I
anyways.
watched it, but it was boring. I'm not gonna lie. Like I watched it, but it was boring. I left it on while I was editing and posting, so it was like background noise. But I like that they were airing like non-aired scenes. That's fun. At least if I'm gonna watch it, show me something that I didn't already see.
Maybe
Right? I
it might
appreciate.
get juicier in the middle.
I hope so, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it filmed 255 days ago, so that always worries me, because I was like, we have social media, we know what these people are doing now, so
Yep.
I'm worried when the content is old, I feel like it won't hold up to the test of time. So I'm hoping it gets a little better in the middle. I heard Darcy will be making her appearance on the show soon.
Well, I saw the
Yeah,
preview for last week.
so if you guys aren't, oh, we're talking about the last resort, Tina. So yeah, if you guys are ready to see Darcy back on your TV, she's been gone for years, guys. If you're ready to see her back on your screen, her and Stacey are making. Stacey made her debut. Darcy will be joining her at the last resort. So we'll be seeing that. All right, guys, make sure you're following my co-host Gina. I'm tagging her in this video. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, georgemossey.com. Anyway, it's your podcast, type in the George Mossey Show. Thank you for staying up with us on this 90 Day Fiance before the 90 Days Sunday night. And we'll talk to all of you guys tomorrow. Oh, no, the Between the Sheets comes on after, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow, just an hour, and then Between the Sheets, an hour. So, yeah, but we'll go live afterward and do an after show. All right, guys, thank you for
Okay.
joining. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.